Welcome in. It's that time of the year, one of my favorite times of the year. Survivor is coming back. We have a whole new cast, and with it, a whole new show here on Josh Does Movies. Welcome, everybody, to Island Analysis. Yes, Island Analysis is going to be my Thursday episode where we break down the previous episode. I give you my power rankings, my winner picks through, where we're at in the season, and we just talk all about Survivor. So if you're new to the channel, if you love Survivor and you're finding this video, leave a like and leave a subscription because we're doing this every Thursday, every week, and we're live watching episodes whenever I can here on Josh Does Movies. I'm 41 subscribers away from my goal of 500 for the year, and I'm hoping that with Survivor I can kind of push my way through and meet awesome people who love the show as much as I do. But without further ado, there's no episode to talk about, but we're going to be here talking about what might happen and making our pregame predictions here on Island Analysis Week 0. And I gotta say, watching all through the cast packages, listening to their interviews, kind of seeing the makeups of the tribe, I really think we have a fun cast this season. And I think it's gonna be interesting to see how they're kind of making up for some of the previous seasons and creating their own meta in this game. A lot of people were talking about the need not to make big moves. A lot of people were kind of talking anti-idols and not wanting to have idols that much, or at least use them more often. Definitely feels like we're getting a lot of people who are responding to both Season 45 and what they saw in Season 46. And I just think it makes for a very interesting cast and crew. And just breaking down the 3 tribes that we have. The first one up will be the Yellow Tribe here. This tribe with, John, Sam, Andy as the guys, Sierra, Rachel, and Anika as the ladies. I think this has a chance to be kind of the powerhouse tribe. This could be the tribe that may only lose 1 or 2 people in the beginning of the season pre-jury. I just think with people like Sam and Andy, they're going to do well in the physical parts of challenges. Rachel, Anika, Sierra, John might have the puzzle styles down. They seem like a tribe that might get to come together. And when I kind of break down my feelings on winner picks, you'll probably see the yellow individuals on the starting tribe here not be towards the bottom, because I don't know if I see them losing in the first few rounds. This seems like a pretty solid tribe, and I just generally think they have a really good chance at making it far in this game, or at least most of them making it to jury. Looking over on the blue tribe, I think this could be the kind of trouble tribe. We have Tiana, Sue, and Caroline as the ladies of this tribe. TK, Gabe, and Kyle as the guys. Now, Kyle and TK may help push these guys for the physical part of the challenge, but we'll be interested to see if they're able to get the puzzle side down. I also see this as a tribe that may have some interesting dynamics to it, both with Tiana being a flight attendant who wants to be a pilot, and Sue being a owner of a flight school and really wanting to get, in her packages saying how, she hopes from the show she gets people who want to be female pilots and be in the female airspace. So the fact that her and Tiana are on the same tribe, I imagine those two are going to be locked very quickly, but that could be a blessing or a curse for them. We'll have to see. But the blue tribe, they're kind of my mishmashy tribe. And finally, we have the red tribe. Rome, Sol, and Keyshawn are males on this tribe. Asia, Genevieve, and Teeny are women of the tribe. And I just gotta say, this is probably my favorite tribe makeup of just people you'll see me rooting for. I think they have some pretty strong contenders of people who I think can make it far in the game and make an impact. There's a couple people on this tribe, though, I think if they lose early, are going to be easy to pick off, and I'll display that in my rankings here in a little bit. But overall, there's no really big tribe dynamic that stands out where you have like a Jonathan from season 42 that should just dominate through this. It seems kind of balanced throughout. I think the social dynamics, they definitely are putting people with each other based off social dynamics. With Sol and Keyshawn both being in the medical field, with, like I said, Sue and Tiana both in the flight area. It's just an overall well-rounded cast. They're definitely going to try to pair people up, I feel, here. But when we talk about what I think this season will be, I see a lot of people who are going to be socially strong at this game, and this seems like a lot of people who I think are going to be very, very smart at this game. So without further ado, let's just get into my preseason prediction rankings. And what's the difference between this and my Big Brother power rankings or some other power rankings I've done in the past is we're not starting at the bottom with Survivor. No. I'm giving my top picks, my number one players, my winner picks each week at the very beginning of my island analysis countdown. And my choice and my winner pick for season 47 is biased, but I also think she's going to have a level head on her way. I think she's going to be athletic enough to win individual immunities, and I just think she has the advantage of being around so many people who've played and worked in this space that I just think she's going to have a social advantage on everybody else in the cast, and that is Asia. For people who might not know watching this video, Asia is somebody who's been podcasting for Big Brother, for Survivor now for many years. She's well indoctrinated into the Rob Has a Podcast community, which includes people like former Survivor players Rob Sesternino, Stephen Fishback, many other guests or people around that community are ex-Survivor players. Whether she's podcasting for ex-people in Big Brother or Survivor, the connection she has, she's always a very upbeat individual. The smile on her face is something that gives you trustworthiness. And because she's around and talking about the gameplay angle and the strategy of these games for so long, I think she's going to have her head on the social positioning of this game and how to make moves to have herself win. I just think she's going to have a lot of experience in terms of knowledge coming in, and overall, when you just see her in these interviews, when you just kind of see her walk around in some of these videos, and everything I've seen from Asia outside, life, so I'm a little bit biased here, she's just the type of individual who you're gonna easily latch onto and like. She isn't going to be somebody who pushes people's buttons. She's going to have the smile. She's going to be giving you comfort. And as the game goes on, I see her being able to rally troops to want to work with her and to want to get further in this game. But I also just think because she has the experience and the people around her and just the overall just somewhat semi-professional knowledge of covering these games, she'll know how to make the correct moves and not make herself too big of a target too early that she'll end up going, pre the end game of Survivor 47. I have Asia here as my top overall pick. Very biased for me because I'm somebody who loves watching some of these podcasts and I'm very much enjoying Big Brother, Survivor, and the conversations. But again, if you find any and you look up Asia up with any of these videos that she's in when she's having these discussions about these shows and just the idea she has in talking about them, she just has a very mature and level-headed approach, and she's just overall a likable individual that, again, that's just a dangerous combo that makes a Survivor winner. My second place person who I think is going to win this season, I have Asia first. Number second, just looking around this list, I don't know why he's standing out for me, but I actually think it might be Sam. Sam, kind of coming from a little bit of a professional sports background. A lot of people this season seems to be coming from that background. I just think he's going to have the athleticism to get him through the pre-jury phase before we merge. And then after the merge, I think he's going to have numbers around him, and I think he's going to be likable enough that he can make its way towards the end. He seems to have a level head on him in a lot of different ways, and something about Sam just tells me he could, it could be a big threat that you take out in 7 or 8, but he also, with this cast, maybe he goes on an immunity run. Maybe other people make themselves bigger targets in the mid game, and Sam is able to skate through with good bonds and a good tribe with them, at the merge to push him forward to the late end game. If the yellow tribe is able to successfully make it through to merge with 5 or so people, and they can pick up and get the majority pretty early on in the merge, Sam can get this tribe to run through, and again, if he gets to the middle end part of the game, maybe he has a chance to comp out and get to the end. I just like the way Sam kind of was talking and presenting himself in these views. I think other people might end up being targets or easy people to get out, be a little bit more aggressive than Sam, and he'll be able to sneak through towards the end of the game. Number 3, kind of in similar line, But on the same tribe, I have Anika. Anika just seems like a very smart social player in this game. She's somebody, if she finds an immunity idol, she's definitely be playing it if she feels worried, which for me is a huge plus for her as a potential player in this game. I then also, like I said, I think that this yellow tribe has a really good chance at making it to merge with the big group. But Anika is somebody, if the big group kind of splits up, I see her able to mesh in with the other tribe very well and kind of find a non-threatening home that can allow her to take towards the middle end game. She could have the social warriorness of, say, like a Kenzie last season, or even a D beforehand. We've seen this type of social butterfly player being able to make it through the tough parts of the game and end up at the end and win the game overall just from good social gameplay. But Anika, I think, has a little better strategy on her head, and she's not going to be afraid to make sure that she's safe if she has an idol or if anything's not going her way. So she's my number 3 right now. I think that yellow tribe has a good chance at, pushing forward and having a lot of people maybe make towards the end game. But if I'm going to give somebody from the blue tribe some love, because I gave some people love on red and yellow so far, at number 4, I have TK. TK, kind of like Asia, just seems like somebody who is going to be very sociable and very likable on the beach. He has the athleticism to him that makes me feel he isn't going to be a target early on in the game, at least not with his tribe at all. And if he connects to the right group of people in the merge, I think TK has a real chance at making a good alliance that can get him towards the end game. He's just very likable. He has a really good story. He's somebody you're going to want to root for and work for. And as long as his target doesn't get too big, or if there's other people in front of him, maybe like a Sam, Gabe, Kyle, that are targets in jury, TK can make it far and just have a great winning pitch if he makes the end. Really impressed with his interviews early on. He's definitely a player I'm looking forward to watch, and he was one that jumped out on the screen to me. At number 5, sticking with the blue tribe, I have Gabe. Gabe is somebody who I think can get clipped very early. But if he gets steamrolling, and he gets kind of a group of people around that allow him to steamroll, he could have his way this game. I do think he might be playing too old of a version of a Survivor. He might try to make tribe lines be very, known in that type of a way. He definitely is somebody is going to be perfectly okay backstabbing and being a villain of the season. But that's somebody who, if he gets the right power and the right group around him, people might, kind of like with Russell, go towards him in that angle and really be attracted to that. So I can see Gabe maybe linking up with a Sam, or maybe linking up with an Andy and working their way through the merge and maybe finding a way to the end where he has a flashy game that the jury respects. I just, really enjoyed, some of what Gabe had to say. I think he's going to be an aggressive player, so he might very much be like early jury, but if he gets past that early jury phase, I think he has a chance to make a late game run. So that was so far 5. So we're in number 6. Man, number 6 to me, I think it might be Teeny. I think Teeny has a chance to really pair up with people on her tribe. I can see Teeny working well with Keyshawn, Asia, even Soul a little bit. I think that's a 4-person group in that tribe that can really come together and leave the pre-merge phase in a really solid foundation that'll work together throughout the game. I really like Teeny's just package and explaining how she's worked through life and how she's fit into these different molds. I know she's going to be bringing a little bit more awkwardness to her, but I think that'll be almost like a unintentional defensive mechanism that will disarm people on the island and kind of stop her from being a target. I think for her big thing is she needs to be able to make the jury phase. If she isn't able to get the jury phase, then she's, that's good. She'll go home early. But if she gets the jury phase, I can see her having a, early jury bottom phase like a Mary Ann, working more towards the middle and top if her allies stay strong around her and keep her safe. I think she's very sociable. I think she's very personable. I just think, again, just the way she handles and communicates herself, at least in these preseason interviews, feels disarming. And I just think that her tribe is going to rally around her a bit. I don't think there's going to be people who are going to be wanting to push her off early. I think Asia and Keyshawn are 2 people who I think are going to be on teeny side early, and I do think they'll bring in Soul and bring a solid 4-person foundation on the Red Tribe. Number 7, I'm going to be going with Andy. Andy is another one that is on the Yellow Tribe that I think will be very good. I liked kind of the way he talked about stuff. I know he knows who Asia is, so if he gets to the merge, he might be able to, allow the Yellow Tribe and the Red Tribe to work together, and that's why I probably have most of their tribe mates being in the forefront of these rankings off the top. I don't see him being somebody who's going to go early. If anybody goes from Yellow Tribe, I think it's going to either be Rachel or Sierra, sadly. And he just seems like he has a good head on him. And, if he makes it through the game, if he gets good bonds, he might be able to get towards the end and have a good speech. My worry for Andy, though, is the people that he might be pairing up with are going to be people who are a little bit more personable, a little bit more social, strong, that might be able to beat him in a Final 3 type situation. So he might have the Charlie effect like Kenzie had with last season in season 46. That's why I've been number 7, but again, this is preseason, just throwing everything at the wall type rankings. Number 8, I'm going with John Levitt. He's an ex-political speechwriter. He's the host of a podcast and a big podcast network. I would have him higher if it didn't seem like people were likely going to know who he is. If people do, some people do know it. Having people who follow podcasting a bit here on this, season, he could get clocked very quickly, and I think that means he might be mid-jury type boo. I think he's going to have good, strong social relationships early. I think he's going to know how to talk and communicate with people very well, and I think that's why he's going to be able to make it further in this game overall. But my worry for him is just that, come early and mid-jury, he'll get like the Christian Hubicki type boot where it's like, we can't let this guy get too far in the game or else he's easily going to win just from his speech, ability to speak to people and connect with people on a speech level. That's why I have John where I do, more middle of the pack, but I'm excited to see him on the show and see what he brings to the island overall. So I think that's our halfway point right now. And I'm going to go back to the Red Tribe because I think that Soul had a really good head on him. He's somebody that I feel like if we'll get nipped in the butt, it'll be tough for him to make Final 3. But he's somebody who I was very impressed with that I think will do a good job socially and be safe in the pre-jury phase once we get to merge. Again, the Red Tribe, I can see 2 people who I think would be the easy boots off, just based off of my initial interactions with seeing them. But Soul is somebody to me that if he does make it further in the game and he is able to make it to a Final 2 or Final 3, he reminds me a little bit of Yule, and he'll give a Yule-type smart speech, and I think he'll be somebody that, if he makes the Final 3, people will be like, he won. He did his job. But I don't know if he'll be able to make it to the Final 3. I think he might get cut off along the way, but I think he's going to have a strong core around him. I think he'll be safe in the pre-merge stuff, and once merge comes, he'll probably be safe the first week or 2, but then he'll be targeted in the early merge stage, or the beginning of the mid-merge, as I like to call it. Number 9, I'm going to the Blue Tribe and Kyle. Kyle is somebody who, if he makes the end, I think will have a great story, and he could very much win. But I think he'll be hiding he'll be so forthfront with his story and why he's here and why he's going to win, that he's going to be somebody who gets cut either in the pre-merge section if people feel him too threatening, or the early merge section in this game. My worry for Kyle is just that somebody like Gabe is going to want to take him out. He's not going to work with Kyle. That he'll be, happy to cut, Kyle out early in the game and just make sure he doesn't have this type of physical charming threat coming from his tribe. I can see TK and Gabe working together, maybe with a Tiana and Sue, and that leaves Kyle kind of on the outs, though he might stay early on. I think of this tribe, Carolyn is the one that will be booted first, and if that's the case, he might be able to survive till merge and get some footing. But for him, his big deal is going to be getting to merge, and I think winning the connection over Gabe with people like TK, Sue, and Tiana. Because Sue and Tiana are either going to be a powerful duo in this tribe that gets the social thing going, or they're going to be ostracized and be easily the first 2 targets. But that's where I have Kyle at right now. Next up, I have Keyshawn. Keyshawn is kind of the last of the people that I think will make merge, and I'm confident will be pretty good early game, that they'll only really be at risk if their tribe falls apart. I loved his conversations with, that he brought about being an ER doctor. He's very intelligent, and he feels very socially intelligent. I think him and Saul are going to connect very well, just being both from the medical field. They have no reason to kind of lie about what they have, and I think they'll be welcomed in open arms from people like Asia. I think Keyshawn and Teeny are going to have a good connection. I think of the 4 people there, he might be the weakest over all of those 4 if they do group up and create a sort of alliance, but we'll have to see as time goes on. He right now, to me, like I said, I think he'll make the merge as long as this Red Tribe doesn't fall apart and ends up with one of these tribes where only 2 or 3 people make it out. If they can get a solid 4 people out, I think he'll be one of the 4 that makes it out of Red Tribe this season. Now we're heading to the point of my analysis rankings preseason, that I think these are all the people who might well leave episode 1. Who's going to be the Jelinski this year? We'll have to find out until next Wednesday. But next on my ranking, somebody who I don't think will be the Jelinski is Tiana. I think for Tiana, I think she will be able to be sociable. I think her connection to Sue that will naturally bloom kind of keep her from being the target, because I think it means if it's between her and Sue, they'll go with Sue over her. So I think she'll be safe a little bit more. I think she'll be able to reintegrate with the tribe if that were to happen. And if it doesn't happen, there's a chance that she may be able to become kind of a core of the Blue Tribe that makes it to the post-merge phase. I just worry for her because I just see this Sue and Tiana connection happening because of their pilot backgrounds and wanting to be a female pilot and Sue wanting to make more female pilots, that they're going to be tied together, and that just could be a very dangerous thing early in the game to be somebody that obviously a pair. Behind her, I'm going to have Sierra. I don't know. Sierra, to me, I thought was a potential good person coming in, and this might just be me being mean, and you can put me being mean in the comments down below, but her voice just annoyed me, and I can see myself being somebody, if they lost a challenge, being like, you know what, I'd be okay to see Sierra go early. She has a decent head on her. If she makes it further in the game, she could be a threat. She feels like she could be sociable. I just don't know if, she'll be able to work her way in with her tribe. I think she'll be outshined by Anika, and I think because Anika is there, she's going to push Sierra out of that spot, and she very well could just be the first or second person out on the Yellow Tribe if they lose early on. Again, I think this tribe is going to win a few rounds, so that might allow her to, have a little bit more social structure. And I think of all the people there that are left at the Yellow Tribe, between her and Rachel, I think Sierra has a better job, meshing with this tribe and being, the number 5 coming out of the merge. But if 2 people get clipped from Yellow early on, or even if 1 person gets clipped, I think there's a good chance between Sierra and Rachel, it'll be one of them. Next up, I actually have Rachel. Again, I don't think Yellow Tribe is going anywhere any too soon. If there's one tribe I think that could have all 6 people make it to the merge, I think it could be Yellow. Rachel, to me, just feels like somebody who might not connect well with this tribe, will be easily seen at the bottom. I don't know if she'll have the social skills to fight off a Sierra or an Anika from the charming lady's perspective to be in this tribe. We'll have to see where it goes, but I just worry if Yellow Tribe does lose, which I don't know how much they will. My bet is they only lose once, at most twice in pre-merge season. But if they do lose once, I think Rachel's head is going to be on the chopping block. But I don't think that'll come until episodes maybe 3 or 4. So that's why I don't have her at the very bottom of the ranking. But I don't see a bright future in this game for Rachel. I see a pre-merge boot coming her way. This brings me to who I think are the 4 most in danger people. At the best out of these 4 on blue, 2 from blue, 2 from red, I'm going to go Rome. I like gaming. He's an esports commentator, so part of me will want to root for him. But I just think his energy is going to be too kind of high for this tribe. I think that, again, there'll be a natural grouping of 4 that kind of forms, and he may get on the outside of that. I think his personality could just rub off people the wrong way, kind of in a sad way that could just get him voted out way too soon. I don't know if he makes it far. He has that much of a strategic understanding of the game, or is going to be able to not be that big loud presence to stop him from that will allow him to make it further in the game. I think he's somebody who's easily to get clipped pre-merge, and I think he's somebody who, if he does make the merge, he'll get clipped very quickly in the merge. That, or he'll be a 0-vote finalist. That's kind of my prediction for Rome. He's either pre-merge, early merge, or a 0-vote finalist. I don't see him being able to make moves in this game or create the social capital enough that will allow him to win Survivor 47. I do think in his tribe, though, between him and Genevieve, that if they do lose, Genevieve is going to be the one who goes home first. Rome has the ability to be the second boot on this tribe, so that could save him. We'll have to see. But that's just my prediction for Rome overall. Next up, we'll have Sue. The reason why Sue is not at the very bottom for me is I think, the tribe will want to keep her around. I think she'll be hardworking. I think her and Tiana are going to create a potential bond that will maybe bring somebody in like a Gabe and a TK or a Kyle and creates a early game majority alliance for the first vote where everybody might be the most worried for. My worry about Sue is if Blue loses a second tribe, loses a second challenge, I think her head is going to be at the chopping block pretty quickly. I think it'll be between her, Tiana, and Kyle. Maybe Gabe if Gabe rubs people the wrong way. But I just think Sue is potentially too easy of a pre-merge boot because so much about early Survivor is about being immune in challenges. And I can just see some people being like, we need to get Sue out because as lovely as she is, she's going to hurt us in winning some of these challenges. She's, with her age, with not being able to keep up. And I do think that Sue can become a very easy boot if Blue goes on a losing run. Next up is Caroline. Caroline is not my bottom-ranked person because I think there's a chance that Sue and Tiana, being an obvious duo, could become a target early on. I do think she has a chance to work her way in, maybe with a Kyle, maybe with a TK well. If she's able to, get in that fourth spot with the guys and create kind of an anti-Tiana and Sue alliance, then she might be able to mold very well and get further into the game. I also think if she does make it to the merge, she can, fade in the background and become a dangerous player as the rest of the game moves on. She could be somebody like a Kenzie. She could be somebody like a Cassidy who might not seem like the easiest obvious target if she makes the merge until it's too late, and then she's making it towards that final four, final three. But I just think she'll be the easy target if Blue Team loses first, and that, she'll be the first one to cut when Blue loses their first immunity challenge this season, if they do. And finally, that gives us my very bottom-ranked number 18, Genevieve. Anytime somebody comes into the game and says, I'm loud, I'm kind of, not really built for this, this isn't exactly what I like, and I'm a lawyer, and I think I'm only going to last like a few days, that's my goal, is to last a few days, you're likely not going to make it far in this game. I think of Red Team, and something about my gut tells me Red is going to lose this first immunity challenge. I think Genevieve is going to be our first boot next Wednesday. She just isn't inspiring confidence from me. And when I look at this tribe and when I see how they're going to mold and kind of work together, I just see Genevieve being on the obvious outs. And once she's on the obvious outs, if they lose, she's going to be just an easy first boot. There isn't going to be much blood. And I think that's how the first episode's going to go. I think Asia and Teeny are going to be like a 1-2. I think Sol and Keyshawn are going to be like a 1-2. And I think those two are going to link up together. And between Rome and Genevieve, I just think Genevieve is going to be the first person out of Survivor 47. I don't see her, being able to make herself get through this tribe if they lose more than one immunity challenge, even if she survives the first one. It's just going to be tough. I just don't like these tribe dynamics for her. She, maybe she'll prove me wrong. Maybe she's the winner of Survivor. I mean, heck, my winner pick for Big Brother was out the first week, so who knows where this game is going to go. I just see her in a bad spot with this tribe. And so when you're coming in already feeling you're the type of person who's going to be out early in the game, there's a good chance that's going to be the case. And, we'll just have to see what happens next Wednesday night. But that's going to be it for the video. Again, look for my live stream watch along for both Survivor and Big Brother next Wednesday, where we watch the Survivor premiere, we watch the Big Brother, veto episodes went next Wednesday night, and then every Wednesday night after that, we'll be watching Survivor live here on the channel, giving our thoughts, and then every Thursday morning, you'll have Island Analysis, where I kind of break down each episode, give my winners and losers, and I'll give my top 5 picks on who I think can win Survivor 47 that week. That's going to be it, though, for the video. Thank you for anybody who's watching this. Give a like and subscribe. Tell me your winner picks down below. Am I right? Am I wrong? Are you on the Team Asia train like me? Or are you, rooting for somebody else? Either way, I can't wait to see you back here for the rest of the Survivor season, and I just want to say I'm so excited. Let's the games begin.